Mr. John Hunt. That sounds more like a movie star's name. I mean, John Hunt. That's like Clint Eastwood. John Hunt, But John Hunt is the founder of Sparesboyz, and he's here to tell us more about his business. Good afternoon, John. Hope you're well.
Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon to all the listeners out there. It's absolutely awesome to be here, and definitely not a film star.
Now, when you hear the name Sparesboyz, what does Sparesboyz do?
Okay, basically, to put it in a nutshell, what we are is we are customer service orientated business. Mm-hmm. That's what our focus is. So specifically, our trade is motor spares. That's what we do as far as parts and that are concerned, everything from bumper to bumper and anything you'd want from your car, both new and used, and we have 12 specialized brands. But the actual industry we're in is customer service. So that's what we do, is to look after customers, take their problems away from them, and give them a professional organization that they can trust and they can get good, genuine advice from.
Lovely. Now, how long has Sparesboyz been in business for?
We've been around in the Natal environment for 35 years. We've also had branches East London, Port Elizabeth, East London, and Cape Town, but we've been in Durban for 35 years. Originally close to where the harbour is,
right.
And now we've subsequently moved to North Coast Road, Chris Harney Road, and just loving it in Durban.
So long time, 35 years. Tell us what drove you to get into the auto parts business.
To be very honest with all the listeners out there, I wasn't fortunate to have a university education, or I don't really come from an educational background. Mm-hmm. So I just got to a point in my life where, it's difficult. You go for interviews and the people tell you have not enough experience, but nobody's willing to give you the chance to learn this experience. Yeah. Or on the opposite side of the coin, they tell you you're overqualified.
Yeah.
I mean, it just drove me to a point where I said, I have to actually employ myself. I can't rely on the environment. I was just about to get married, and that's how I decided, what can I do that I'd actually love? Because if you love what you do and you do what you love, it's not really work. So I'd just been passionate about motor cars and motor spares my whole life. So that was a choice I just made, which was 2 months prior to me getting married. So my wife was very trusting in believing that I'd be able to eventually one day provide for the family. But that's a blessing of a family backing.
So tell us quickly, how did you start the business?
I originally started with my wedding present given to me by my mother and my father, to the disgust of my new bride. They each gave me an old Mercedes, which I then proceeded to break those 2 cars that had been given to me for a wedding present and strip them for parts. This was done at the original Mabida, which was in Umbila, just off Umbila Road. And I literally started being one employee for the company in some blue overalls. I was from the secretary to the accountant to the mechanic, and I had very little mechanical background, so I used to get the AA book of the car, and I used to constantly study at night just to see what was the difference between a diesel and a petrol engine. But that's by putting the effort in. But it was a passion thing, and I decided to try and follow my passions and do something that I loved.
That sounds amazing. You took your wedding present and broke it down into parts. That's like you taking your wedding present and opening up a butchery.
Exactly, literally. That's what I'm saying. You are a brave man.
And I'm still married, happily married.
Excellent, lovely. Now you had branches all around the country. What's the reason that your head office is based in Durban?
Well, I'm very passionate about the whole Durban environment. I just love Durban. I'm originally from the Eastern Cape, but I have traveled. I have lived overseas, abroad for 3 years. I've lived in Johannesburg for 3 years. But having met a very good employee that I had in Johannesburg, and he invited me to come for the weekend.
Right.
His name was Lenny Naidu. He stayed in Chatsworth. He invited me to come down to Durban, on arriving in Chatsworth, I just loved the people. I loved the environment. I got involved. I just loved the cultures, the mixtures in Durban. And, what more beautiful place on the planet? We have Transkei on the one side, we have Mozambique on the other side, and we've got the Drakensberg Mountains. I mean, where else in the world would you want to be? Cape Town has a mountain.
Right.
That's about all.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a while.
But you make Durban sound so nice and so inviting. What a nice place to be in.
It is, and I'm very passionate about it, and that's why I love it, and I enjoy getting involved with the environment and the people of Durban, and in our own little way, trying to contribute towards the betterment of Natal and Durban.
Lovely. What are some of the benefits your customers receive by dealing with Sparesboyz?
Well, the number one benefit, I think, is basic honesty. You know, we like to give a fair deal. I mean, every company is entitled to make money to stay alive.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the expense of just profit, we're not interested in it. We genuinely want the customers out there to feel a benefit and get into the wow factor on a constant basis. Every time you come into contact with our company, we want you to walk away or get off the phone feeling better than what you did before you came into contact with us. That's our primary focus, is to contribute, save the customers money, and at the end of the day, give them very old-fashioned, good quality service. That's what we're all about.
Now, I got a question from Frank in Pietermaritzburg, and he's asking, what's the lead time on parts delivery?
Frank, thanks for the question, and an absolutely awesome question, because right now at the moment, with supply chains broken around the world, it is very, very difficult to estimate that. And unfortunately, I mean, with us, we carry huge stocks, and we also have the advantage that we carry used spares. So you must also remember, for instance, if you take a particular brand, they only hold a certain amount of parts in stock. Whereas where we break a car, we literally get every single nut and bolt on that car from the front to the back into stock. So we try and cut down on the lead times as much as possible. Ted had just mentioned to me, about the business earlier on, and I was explaining we kind of like the emergency ward at the hospital, because when you come to us, you're desperate for the part, and we understand that, and as quickly as humanly possible, we'll get the part to you, that whether it's air freighting it, whether it's bringing it in from abroad, from Europe, from India, from wherever, we will get that part to you as quick as humanly possible. And that's, in all honesty, because of the supply chains, that's all I can promise. I cannot promise you 24 hours or 36 hours, because in some instances, it's just physically impossible.
Now, John, tell us, does Sparesboyz get involved in any community projects?
We like to try and get involved with as many community projects as possible. And in all honesty, over the years, we've found that the best area for us to get involved with the community is in something that we ourselves strive to do, and is something we can do and that we know we're good at doing. So just from a personal point of view, this is where we get involved on the entrepreneurial side. So we set up workshops for people to come and sit and listen. How do you start a business? What would be the reasons for you to start a business? How do you start a business without capital? If you need capital, how do you raise the capital? Because, entrepreneurs are people out there with great ideas and concepts. But a concept is only a concept until a plan is put into place. So that planning is not always in the entrepreneur's skills, because they've thought about the idea. They haven't thought about the financial aspects behind it, or the marketing aspects, or how to take it to social media, or how to do the necessary market research before you decide whether your idea is good or bad, is to test the waters. So the basic of the basic steps, I like to get involved with where I can add value, because we have incredible people out here, and where we're living in Africa here at the moment is just, there's so much potential. The youth, there's so much potential. And this is how we want to contribute, is by trying to unlock this potential and helping them. Just like I've done myself, and my partner Paul has been involved. We're entrepreneurs. How can we take that knowledge and all the wealth that we have and pass it down?
So how can the community in KZN benefit from Sparesboyz?
At any one particular time, if they want to get hold of us, they can email us through the radio station here. They'll gladly forward it on to me. I'd be happy to meet with them, set up a Zoom meeting, answer any questions, help where we can, because it's by putting in That's the main thing is, we want to put in because this is such an unbelievable place that we live in.
Now, John, you are a true entrepreneur. What are your feelings about the future of Durban and KZN?
To be quite honest with you, there is just so many problems around the planet at the moment. And I'm just so unbelievably grateful for what we have in Durban and where we are at in Durban. There's exciting things happening. I mean, this new government we have, for me, is extremely exciting because there's checks and balances in place. We've got people checking now that things are getting done. It's a kind of a management. So I just feel so strongly about it. We've got the new Club Med that's going to be opening down the coast, which is going to help as far as employment is concerned. And as far as tourism is concerned, we all need to get together. It's whether it's throwing the paper out of the window of your car.
Yes.
I mean, how do we start just by not throwing filth onto the pavement or keeping, as we try and do? I mean, you're happy to drive past any time, but we'll sweep the outside of our premises in the morning, although it's not ours, it belongs to the road.
Exactly.
Works. But if we can start cleaning our areas and cleaning them and just slowly we move it one step at a time. I mean, I feel so positive about Durban because there are, when we list all the advantages we've got, the potential that we've got here from an entrepreneurial point of view. We have the port here, we have the employment, we have the skills, we have the youth that is here. We just need to get them active.
So where do you see Sparesboyz headed?
Into the future, it's just so bright. And, with the new digitization, the new formats there are, the new availability that is there for us, it's to use it to the maximum now. How do we can get in there and we can empower other people? So part of what we're doing at the moment is developing a kind of a ownership model to set up small little spares businesses throughout the township is where we're going to be focusing most of our energy. But it's to take people that have got no employment and let them create employment, their own employment, and that way creating employment for other people. And if each one of us as Sparesboyz, as a small little company, can contribute and create 50, 100 jobs, if every business out there was doing the same thing, we'd all be making a significant difference.
Definitely. Finally, tell us your vision.
My vision is one of greatness. And, I just believe, dream big. And if you fail, at least you be on the treetops. Because if you set your goals on the treetops and you fail, you never get off the ground. So I'm trying to teach everybody, including we have a little squatter camp up the road from us. I'm trying to teach these guys at the Malacca Center to think big. Because I'm the perfect example. And, I hate to preach and not be able to practice and back it up. But, I'm the living proof that you can come from nothing, you can have really nothing, and you can achieve greatness if you want to, if you set your mind to it. And, if you decide in your mind you can be successful, you will be successful. Right. There's no limitations for us. We are all African here, and that's what makes us unique here. Europe is different. They've got hundreds of years, thousands of years of history. We new in the making here, and I think this is extremely exciting for us. We're at an exciting stage. It now needs for us to get down to practical. You guys were talking earlier on about the funds that get taken away.
Yes.
I mean, let's use them from a positive point of view, and let everybody have a say, and let everybody see where the money is going to and what's getting generated from the money. So where there's truth is where will be freedom.
Absolutely, John. Wow. It was a pleasure speaking to you. It was lovely, very enlightening, and hopefully we speak to you again. Don't make this the last time.
Definitely. And any of the listeners, even if you just need advice, you're not even looking to buy a part. Please give us a call. We're here to help and serve the community. That's who pays us our salary. So we're here as servants to you, as our public servants should be servants to the public. But we are out there saying that we are there to serve you guys. Please feel free to give us a call at any time or pop in or just come and say hi.
We will do that for sure. Thank you so much, John.
Thank you very much.
That was John Hunt, founder of Sparesboyz, talking to us here in studio. It's the Afternoon Jam, you on Radio Lansar.